Now let's meet our third team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mary Lou Culvertson.
My name is Mary Lou Culvertson.
My name is Mary Lou Culvertson.
Very well, panel, open up your envelope again and follow along with this story. I, Mary Lou Culvertson, make my living out of murder. Not committing it, writing about it. Working as a freelance crime reporter, I sell my true fact stories to Sunday newspaper supplements and to national magazines such as Startling Detective and True Police Cases. Whenever possible, I put on my trench coat, grab my camera, and visit the scene of the crime in person to take pictures and interview as many of the principals as I can corner. Up to now, I have covered well over 100 murders. Not bad for a grandmother whose lifelong hobbies have been knitting and growing African violets. Signed, Mary Lou Culvertson. Very well, panel. These three ladies all claim to be Mary Lou Culvertson, as you heard, and would start with Peggy Cass. Peggy?
Thank you. Number one, where do you live?
I live in Hartford, Connecticut.
Thank you. Number three, how do you know the murder's taken place? Do the cops call you up and say, hey, honey, we just had a swell murder?
Well, I have a very special friend on the police department. You have to get friendly with the police department, and they notify you.
Oh, well, number two, you don't have to have a do you have a press pass and stuff like that?
Yes.
I see. Number three, who was Ruth Snyder?
She was a murderess.
Thank you. Do you know who she committed her murder with, number three?
No, I don't.
Oh, number one, who was Winnie Ruth Judd? I think that's the name of it.
Well, she was a famous murderess.
But did she have an accomplice in her murder?
No, I think she did them all herself.
Oh, nifty. Number two, what's the most horrible murder?
Orson B.
Ever committed. Number two. Wait a minute. Now, number two, often in the back of Startling Detective magazine, squeezed in among the raised mushrooms for fun and profit ads, are little things that say, learn how to write. Send us samples of your writing. Did you send one of those in, number two? Is that how you began?
No.
You were just found that your hand was moving, right? I mean, how did you start writing?
I was a newspaper reporter, general assignment reporter, and I had a leaning toward crime.
Ah, why was this, number two?
Right after I started, I used to sneak over in the courtrooms to find out.
All right. Number one, what did Ruth Snyder commit the murder with? Number one, I meant to say.
I believe that she used an axe.
All right. Number three, what's the most gruesome murder? Kids, turn away from the set. I want you in your own words, number three, to tell us what's the worst thing you ever covered. You can leave out some of the gorier details.
Well, I believe the worst thing was a murder where the father killed the entire family, and then he kept inquiring about them all over the neighborhood, and they found the family cemented in the basement.
I'm sorry I asked, number three.
I'm amazed you didn't say that's cute. Kitty.
Number two, do you have a friend on the police force, too?
Several.
Where do you live?
Greenville, South Carolina.
Number one, have you ever helped to solve any of these murders?
No, I never felt that it was my duty to do that.
You just report them and write up the story?
The fact.
You follow through?
Yes.
Number three, what gruesome murder was committed by a lady in Fall River? With an axe. Number two, do you know?
I don't know.
Number one?
No, I don't.
I know, Kitty.
Number two, who was the pig woman?
Oh, gee.
Number one, do you know?
I can't remember, but there was one, I know.
Tom Poston.
Number two, did Winnie Ruth Judd work alone?
I think she did.
Number three, you started to answer Kitty's question about the Fall River murders. Who was that? Do you remember now?
No, I think there was a poem written about it, but I don't remember who it was.
I see. Now, number one, I'll ask, is it true that unpleasant murders sell better than, say, nice, clean, clear-cut murders where...
Well, I think so. I think people like details.
Decapitation, too. Number two, tell me, what would you do, for instance, if you had a murder case that was just clean, clear-cut, nice, everybody, would it sell?
Sometimes, but not so well.
That's it. Time for you now to take all the gory details, pull them all together, and mark your ballots. So mark them at once, if you will, without change, without any consultation whatsoever. Just vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Have you marked your ballots?
No, I can't. These girls all look like murder writers. I can't really tell.
Mark away, Tom. We haven't too much time. All right, for whom?
Right, I'll just, because I had a guess. I didn't know that. Anyway, I voted for number 1.
Peggy Cat.
Well, a guy named Judd Gray helped one of those girls kill people. But I voted for number 2, although, gee, how come you have so many murders in a little place like Greenville?
No more questions. Horse and pig.
Well, Ruth Snyder used a sash. It was a terrible thing, but that's why it's called the Ruth Snyder sash murder. A big, long... I don't... Anyway, I voted for number 2.
Kitty, which one do you think is the real one?
I voted for number 2. I'm surprised that none of these ladies knew Lizzie Borden, who lived in Fall River, but never mind. I voted for number 2.
That's it, then. The votes are all in, and the minds are made up. You heard them, and let's see how they stack up as we learn which of these 3 ladies, in truth, is Mary Lou Culvertson. Will the real Mary Lou Culvertson please stand up? Thank you very much, Miss Culvertson. Number 1, what is your real name and what do you really do?
I'm Rita Ford, and I have a shop in Manhattan. I buy, sell, and repair antique music boxes.
And number 3, what is your real name and what do you really do?
My name is Selma Jean Harmon, and I'm international president of an organization of former air hostesses.
It's very interesting to note that Mrs. Harmon was the very first TWA hostess. The very first one. Well, we checked the score, ladies, to find that the panel got a little wiser and smarter this time. I guess the experience of the first 2 wised them up. In any event, there were 3 correct votes and only 1 incorrect, but that's still worth $250 to you, and we thank you for joining us. Good night, and God bless you.